Is that good? Are we good? Are we good? Good morning. Good to see you guys. I hope everything is good on Facebook. Come on in, you guys. Come on in from the balcony on TikTok. Every day, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, we are here chatting about insulin resistance and how we can go from insulin resistant to insulin sensitive, because it literally shifts everything in your body and in your life. It shifts not only like your health and how you're feeling as far as exhaustion or not sleeping or whatever, but it shifts your ability to lose weight. Like, you position yourself to actually lose weight. Hello, tell me who doesn't want that? Most people do. I should say, actually, well, never mind. We'll get into it because of one of the myths. We'll get into it in just a second. So anyway, all right. Well, my name is Kirsten Liebelt, and if you've never seen any of my content, which is, highly likely because there are 8 billion people on the planet. So it's really quite likely. Basically, you know what? I was raised with a type 2 Italian dad, and he just did not have really good health his entire life. And so that was my entire life. Good morning, Terry. Good to see you. And it's a really driving force for me. It's a driving factor for me. I mean, I literally, when I realized that this was something that was not 100% genetic, that you could turn this around, I very much kind of dove into studying and shifting my own world and becoming the only person in my family to avoid type 2 diabetes. I'm 59. I'll be 60 next month. I'm not on any meds. Like, I shifted my world because I was so taken aback by the fact that what we were being told and what was true were two separate things. And I was like, how can this be? Like, it's kind of like watching the Matrix movie going, oh, that's so far-fetched. Well, now I kind of like jokingly, not so jokingly, wink, wink, call it the Matrix, because that's kind of how this goes. So anyway, so that's the premise of kind of where I start every day talking to everybody about this, because it's like, holy cats, we can really make a difference and you can have a completely different life. So I personally have like this track to run on that is super simple. That's my whole point, is that if this was really hard and arduous, you might not take on the responsibility or the opportunity to be your own advocate. You might think, oh, it's too hard and too arduous. Good morning, Melissa. You're so good to me. Thank you. Thank you. She's tapping on TikTok. I so appreciate you. And sending me things. She's sending me things. You don't have to do that, Melissa, but I do appreciate all that. I mean, I appreciate it all, but that's so nice of you. And so, when you take on that kind of, what's the word that I want to use? I was going to use the word mantle, but that really doesn't apply here. But you just take on that role for yourself of becoming your own advocate. You would be amazed at how much like ground you can take, territory that you can take for yourself. And it's just, I'll tell you, it's very empowering and it feels very good. So today what I wanted to do is I wanted to actually dive into what are the myths, 8 myths about insulin resistance that you might be believing or have believed, and then what are the truths that actually replace those myths, so that you can kind of like have your own little come to Jesus moment maybe, and realize that, oh, you know what? This isn't rocket science. There are a lot of things that are rocket science, including rocket science. There are a lot of things in this life that can be challenging or difficult, or they do require a lot of, information and education and layered everything, and it's arduous. That's not this. So that's why when I talk about a track to run on, targeted supplementation, change out your foods. Here we are. This is what I do every day. And we have our 20th free challenge coming up January 6th, our 20th. And good morning, Lisa. Good to see you. In the process of making peanut butter balls. Oh, yummy. Oh, that sounds so good, Lisa. Are you using Swerve? I would love to know. You don't know how to navigate here. So Carol, is that Carol, my Carol? You don't know how to navigate on TikTok? Is that what you're saying? You got your book. Oh, Melissa, I'm so glad. Okay, yep, first time on TikTok. That is so cool. Yes. Way to go, Carol. You're on TikTok. I'm actually, I was kind of mentioning in my stories that, and in the group, I am going to start doing some live video in TikTok of food. Like I'm going to, like, I'll show you making food, never mind. I'll present myself making food. You might not see my face, but I want to be able to bring that layer to you. Just some simple things that I make, etc. Blah, blah, blah. And so blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so you looked at the picture, huh? It's not me. Oh, wow. I just looked at the picture. It's not me. That's so funny. Yes, you have to change your profile picture, Carol. You can do it. TikTok's a different universe, you guys. It is a different universe. If you're wanting to get into TikTok and you haven't done it yet, there's a link in my stories, both on Instagram and Facebook. And I put that there last night. Anyway, all right. So let's dive into some myths and stuff and see if we can't shift somebody's life today. Whose life can we get better today? You know, because how many times have you heard different truths? You've considered them truths about insulin resistance, and you've thought that's just how it is. Like that was my life. My life was really thinking, you know what? Maybe my being obese, and because I was 2X, obese, Italian, type 2, maybe this is just my lot in life. Maybe this is just how this goes. And I realized that, no, I had more control than that. So you don't have to think that this is just how it is. You don't have to think that. So let's just dive in and bust some of these myths. So number one, the untruth that you might be believing would be that insulin resistance only affects overweight or obese people. Untruth number one, insulin resistance only affects obese or overweight people. That is not true. Actually, insulin resistance can affect anyone regardless of weight. Thin individuals can have insulin resistance due to poor diet, chronic stress, sedentary lifestyle, or genetic predispositions. It's about what's happening at a cellular level, not just what the scale says. I talk about cellular level like literally every day because I'm so convinced that if you will deal, that's why I talk about the trio, the 3 supplements that help with insulin sensitivity. If you can deal with this at a cellular level, if you can understand that that's what you're doing, OMG, it changes everything. It changes everything. And Carol, by the way, if you're sitting on TikTok and if you tap the screen, it'll actually it gives hearts. And that helps to get information out to the rest of TikTok. Just all of a sudden that came to me because I saw your name again. Thanks, Carol. Anyway, that's untruth number one. So you don't have to be overweight or obese to have insulin resistance. Number two, if I'm not diabetic, I don't need to worry about insulin resistance. Or sometimes people will say to me, I am type 2. Does that mean I'm insulin resistant? Yes. Yes, it does. But you might think, I'm not diabetic yet, so I don't need to worry about insulin resistance. That's pretty much where I was. And I'm going to tell you, the reason why is because I did not know the terminology insulin resistance. This was not normal to me. This was a new, that terminology had not been put out into the world yet. Nobody was talking about insulin resistance in that way. And so I literally was just waiting for the shoe to drop on diabetes. Because of my dad, because of my Italian family, because of the life that I lived. I was just waiting for that to happen. And how silly is that now that I think about it, right? But you don't have to do that. You don't have to wait for that, because the truth is that insulin resistance can affect anyone, and regardless of your weight. Nope, sorry. Insulin resistance develops long before a diabetes diagnosis. Symptoms like fatigue, brain fog, stubborn belly fat, and skin tags are early warning signs. So let's just go through those again. Fatigue, brain fog, stubborn belly fat, and skin tags are early warning signs. Addressing insulin resistance early can prevent long-term health complications, including type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and PCOS. So this is probably one of the main reasons. If I have to think about why do I get online every day and talk about this, it's probably one of the main untruths that people think. They're waiting for the shoe to drop on diabetes, but you don't have to, because you can be insulin resistant for 10, 20 years, maybe 3 years, but maybe 10, maybe 20. I mean, I started my insulin resistance at 22, 23. I had my baby right at 23. I think I was a week away from my 23rd birthday. No, or from my 24th birthday. So I was 23, almost 24. And I was gestational diabetic, taking my blood 4 times a day in my fingers, pricking my fingers. What a process, ew. And no idea, no comprehension, none. Oh, golly, I must be insulin resistant. No, nobody was talking about that. And here my dad was, I'm almost 24. He's going to die in 6 years from the time I had my son. He's going to die. And I am pricking my fingers 4 times a day, pregnant with gestational diabetes. And not once am I thinking, yeah, I should probably pay attention to my own sugars and insulin. I'm not thinking that. That's how disconnected I was from just the reality. Okay. But then get this. This should give you a lot of hope. I didn't do anything for over 25 years. I was insulin resistant forever before I finally had to do something about it. And by that time, when it came, by that time, I was checking to see if my sores were healing on my body. I was checking to see if I was peeing all the time, if I was thirsty all the time, like my dad was. I was assessing my own universe because I was very concerned about whether or not I actually was type 2, and I refused to go to the doctor to get an actual diagnosis. Okay, so the untruth is that if you're not diabetic, you don't need to worry about insulin resistance. But the truth is that insulin resistance develops long before a diabetes diagnosis. Symptoms like fatigue, brain fog, stubborn belly fat, and skin tags are early warning signs. Addressing insulin resistance early can prevent long-term health complications, including type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and PCOS. Number 3, untruth. I'll know I'm insulin resistant because I feel something drastic. I'm feeling something. Untruth. Insulin resistance can be silent for years. It often goes undiagnosed because its symptoms, fatigue, cravings, weight gain, poor sleep, are overlooked or normalized as part of aging, stress, or, well, it's just life. So it goes undiagnosed for years. Let's see if I've got anything. Good morning, Donna. Good morning, Suzette. Oh, good morning, Claudette. Everybody's jumping on. Yay! Good to see you guys. The gang's all here. I know sometimes our lives get very, our schedules get off, and especially during Christmas time. That's why I thought, you know what I'll start doing some food things over on TikTok. And I can only do like one platform at a time when I do that. So I'm just going to choose TikTok just to let you know. And again, you guys, up in my stories, I have a link there if you want to like peek at TikTok if you're not on there. And if you don't, no big deal. You don't have to be over there. But anyway, but everybody's schedules kind of change. And so that's why sometimes we feel a little like, if you said it feels like it's been forever, I understand. That's what happens. All right. Number 4, untruth. As long as I eat less and exercise more, insulin resistance will go away. As long as I eat less and exercise more, insulin resistance will go away. Not true. So how excited are we then about like our insurance company's taglines? Eat less, move more, eat less, move more. Or a doctor, eat less, move more. You're just eating too much. You're just not moving enough. You're just, oh, it fires me up, you guys. It's not just about calories in, calories out. Hormonal balance plays a critical role. Over-exercising or extreme calorie restriction can actually worsen insulin resistance by increasing cortisol, which is your stress hormone, and triggering your hunger hormones. How frustrating is that? That you're literally doing what you think you're supposed to be doing and you're going backwards. Like nobody wants that. Number 5, untruth. Eating fat causes insulin resistance. Has anybody thought eating fat is like the worst thing that you can do? Wrong. Healthy fats like avocados, nuts, olive oil are essential for insulin sensitivity. It is take notes on this one because I'm sure you've never heard this before. I'm just kidding. It's sugar, processed carbs, and seed oils that contribute to insulin resistance by causing repeated blood sugar spikes and inflammation. Those are your issue. It's not the avocado or the olive oil or the butter, the yolk of the egg, the fat on the meat. No. Fruit Loops are not healthier than a steak, like they want you to think according to the recent guidelines. They're lying to you because there's money involved. There are lobbyists. There are agricultural industry lobbyists. The FDA, the Food and Drug Administration, is for food and drug, and it is not, it does not always have your best interest at heart. But the food pyramid was not developed by medical people. It's developed by the FDA. It's not, right? Does that make sense? So healthy fats, it's sugar, processed carbs, and seed oils that are messing you up, okay? That's what you need to know. All right, next one. Number 6, you just need to cut out sugar and insulin resistance will be fixed, just like that. Just cut out sugar, no problem, fixed. No, not completely. So while reducing sugar is crucial, and it really, really is, you guys, I'm sugar-free, I'm grain-free because I don't want to spike my sugars. I'm pretty much legume-free other than those peanuts occasionally, Lisa. Peanut butter, yeah. Because, but again, legumes they'll spike your sugars. Like if you look at any bean other than like a green bean, it's like 40 grams of carbs in a cup. And here we are eating chili like there's no tomorrow. Anyway, moving on with that one. While reducing sugar is crucial, it's about total metabolic health. So this is why I come at you from different directions every single day, because the things to think about might be layered, right? Are layered. They're not might be. They are layered. This is true. But the simplicity of turning it back around is there's a layer according to what you're dealing with. So for instance, if you're needing to fix your sleep, if you're needing to fix your stress, if you're needing to fix your gut, if you're needing to fix, bring down your insulin, bring down your sugar. So there are different pieces to the puzzle, but all in all, it's all connected and it's all very simple. So total metabolic health, you have to look at this as a whole picture. That's why some of you, even like I just talked to somebody this morning, left her a message. She's seeing a functional doctor, right? Because we want a more holistic approach. We want a full picture of what's going on. You also need to focus on improving your gut health, reducing stress, prioritizing sleep. Like seriously, what are the things that I talk about all the time? These things: gut, stress, sleep, and incorporating nutrient-dense foods. Thank you, Melissa. You're amazing. Nutrient-dense foods and supplements that support blood sugar stability. So, I mean, honestly, you guys, all of this information, this research that I just did, like this literally supports every single conversation we've ever had, because these are the conversations that we're having. Let me see if anybody's talking. Hi, Karen from Florida. Oh, cool. Where are you in Florida? I just love Florida. Kathleen, you lost 5 pounds. Do tell. Okay, you've heard of all of it. You've lost 5 pounds in the last few weeks since you found me. Kathleen, you so needed someone who has battled this also. That makes me so happy, Kathleen. Tell me what you've been doing to lose your 5 pounds. What did you incorporate? What did you implement that could give other people hope like that? That makes me so happy. Somebody else had just messaged me, I think it was yesterday, and said they had lost, maybe it was 8 pounds. Oh, golly. No, this was somebody else. They had actually lost quite a bit of weight just by listening. I know Terry says, congratulations, Kathleen. That's wonderful. Yeah, Kathleen, I would love to know what you've been implementing. I love that, you guys. I love that so much. Do you see how you can just take back your life and it means something different for everybody? I mean, there's not one time that I get down on the floor with my grandsons and I don't think about my ability to be on the floor with my grandsons. It's not one time. Makes me so happy. I want to be on the floor with them. I want to be on their level. I want to like talk to them. I want to get in the pool with them. I want to do the things that matter to me and to create memories with them. Right? And so for me, that's me. But what's it for you? You have to answer that for yourself. In 2025, go to the end of 2025. You've lost 25 pounds. What did that do for you? What was the most important thing that did for you because you lost, let's say, 25 pounds? Or, you know, you got your sugars in check and now you're not as exhausted anymore. Or you're sleeping better finally for the first time in a really long time. Or the food noise has simmered down and you actually can think straight. Your brain fog is better and you're more mentally clear. All of these things that happen when you turn back your insulin resistance, what did it end up doing for you? You have to go out into the future, see what that result is for you, and then walk it out thinking about that and seeing that. Like if you want, you know, I saw somebody's TikTok and she said, unless you've been obese, you do not understand what it's like when you can't, what was her example? Oh, for her, because she's lost like 260 pounds or something. And she said, you don't know what it's like to go to a movie theater and not be able to sit into a seat without the arms up. So for her, that was a pull and a draw. For me, my mom had hip surgeries and hip replacements and knee replacement. And so she never was on the floor with my kids, ever. Like I have literally zero memory of my mother ever being on the floor my entire life. So for whatever reason, that clicks with me. And I'm like, I want to make sure that I can stay on the floor with my grandbabies. Like I want to be on their level. I want to be able to talk to them and see them. And anyway, those are things that are important to me. But okay, diet changes and turmeric that I've recommended so far. Waiting until after Christmas to order your trio. I'm so glad you're on the turmeric. Kathleen, will you tell me what you have noticed the most so far? And yes, get the trio. You guys, grab the trio and be ready for the January 6th challenge. Okay. If you're on it, you already know, you're already on the track to run on, but grab it and we will start the January 6th challenge together. And it's going to be amazing. Last year we had so much fun and so many great results, and we'll just party it up on that challenge for January. Good morning, Magda. Good to see you. Donna, you just found me today. Donna, welcome to my world. Or you found me. One of your videos was there. I had been praying because I have no idea what to do. Totally lost. Donna. So much love for Donna, you guys. So much love, 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 love. I'm so, so glad. Do you know, Donna, that I actually, I pray that people will find me. I pray that that old customers will return and that new people will find me every day. I pray this all the time. So look at how God's answering our prayers. I'm so excited about that. Because it really is like everybody needs to know this. Everybody needs to know that insulin resistance is 100% reversible and you have the power. You've got the power. What is that song? There's a song in there somewhere in my head. You've got the power. You do. You have so much ability within yourself to shift things. I'm telling you. So anyway, when you get into the group, it makes me excited. When you get into the group, Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women, and I put it up here on TikTok because that's it's the best way to get you guys information. So you know how to contact me and stuff. Thank you with all of my heart. Yay! Seriously. So what I do is I teach two different things, Donna. Two different things. There's a group, it's called Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. And I teach ingredient trade outs and I teach targeted supplementation. So when somebody's talking about the trio, that's what they're talking about. They're talking about these 3 supplements right here. These are what I started with a little over 10 years ago. It's hard. Facebook is, I feel like I'm too close on Facebook. So I'm too close. Anyways, there's 3 supplements and there's 3 ingredients that help with insulin sensitivity. Just to get up there for Facebook. And I started these a little over 10 years ago. And I did it because I'm going to be super honest, Donna. And I don't know where you are in your journey, but I did not think I could trade out my foods. Like, I'm Italian and there's a lot of emotional connections to food. There are a lot of cultural connections. And so mangia, you eat. Because that shows respect, that shows gratitude for the person who made all the food. It shows love, it shows all these things. But then when you gain weight, then I had a very disapproving look coming mainly from my mother, because my mother was actually 100% Swedish. And I think she was frustrated with herself that she succumbed to the Italian culture. I mean, I really do think that. And so she kind of like always... she just had hoped that we would not succumb. You know what I mean? Like that was her anyway. And so when I started supplementing, zero understanding of how anything would ever help my body to actually do anything. My only connection was ever to like Metabolife, which was just ephedra, which was speed. And it got banned. Like that was my idea of losing weight. So it never dawned on me in a million gazillion years that if you bring down your insulin and your sugars, you can actually position yourself to lose weight. Why would I ever think that? Why would I ever have that thought? That wasn't on the morning show. That wasn't on Oprah. It wasn't, wasn't coming from the Matrix. It wasn't coming from these places. So for me, it was very much it was a path of major least resistance. What's the easiest, most simple, most lame in my head way that I can begin to turn back my insulin resistance? That literally was the conversation kind of in my head, like cross the fingers and go, So Donna, just to let you know, that's how I started these. And I positioned my body to lose 3 sizes now in my 50s after my cycle stopped. So I teach both. I teach the targeted supplementation and I teach ingredient trade outs. And that's what we talk about a lot in the group, Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. And there's a free challenge January 6th. It's our 20th one. So get positioned. If you've never seen my content before, like Donna, if you have no idea how you could possibly ever turn this around and get healthier and feel better and feel stronger and like lose weight finally because you've been stuck. And if you are like, I don't even know what you're talking about and you need testimonies, please take 5 minutes and go over to my Instagram. My name is the same everywhere. Kirsten Liebelt. Kirsten Liebelt. Okay. KIRSTENLIE, like you lie down on a couch, and then belt, like you put on your pants. Liebelt, lie belt. Go to Instagram. There's a pink highlight bubble at the top of my Instagram page, and it has testimony after testimony after testimony of the trio, because you need to get your hopes up. You need to believe that January can be different for you this year. You need to believe that you could have a running start into a completely different track to run on. You have to believe that for yourself. Anyway, all right, hold on, because I know we're not done. All right, so number 7. Number 6 was you just need to cut out sugar and insulin resistance will be fixed. And that is not true. You have to work on your gut, your stress, your sleep, and eat nutrient-dense foods. And, we have been told that kale is a superfood, and I'm not against kale, but kale is not a superfood. Just pull up the actual nutrition label on kale and then pull up the actual nutrition label on beef. So why have we been told one thing when it's not true? Okay, moving along, because that'll get somebody riled up. Number 7, insulin resistance only affects blood sugar levels. Not true. Again, let's just see. What are we going to confirm that we've already been talking about all the time? Insulin resistance is linked to hormone imbalances because insulin is a hormone. It's a hormone. Cortisol is a hormone. So hormone imbalances, visceral fat, increased visceral fat. That's the fat around your organs. That's the fat that you can't squeeze, the fat that you can't see. It's a big conversation, you guys. This is why I talk about the pixie stick all the time. This is the thermogenic that helps to burn the visceral fat around your waist and your hips, okay? And I'm telling you, like your best friend ever, if we were having a cup of coffee, I would tell you the same thing. You guys, I literally just sent 3 boxes to my bestie girlfriend in Texas. That's how much I believe in this. They just launched it in August. It's freaking amazing. But my point being, and I'm like, don't be offended. She won't be because, she just knows that I've been on my own journey too, right? But that stubborn fat that's around your waist and your hips, that's the visceral fat underneath. So let's like thermogenically remove it from the inside, and then your outside will show it. Does that make sense? It's kind of like you have to deal with it from the inside out. You got to turn it inside out because that visceral fat is around your organs. It's the stubborn stuff that you're frustrated about. So increased visceral fat, inflammation. So here Kathleen was talking about, she's been taking the turmeric that I talk about. It's 45 times more potent than another turmeric. 400 milligrams of this turmeric is like 6,000 milligrams of another. Okay. And even neurological issues. Guys, come on. Type 3 diabetes, insulin resistance of the brain, type 3 diabetes. Like, let's go there in our head so that we can stay away from it. Like, let's receive these truths that are now coming so that we can stay away from them. Again, it's another thing that fires me up because my mother, who was 100% Swedish, should have never become type 2 diabetic and should have never had dementia. It should have never happened. And then you go into the facility, and what did I fight the most? Every time she turned around, she was being given sugar. Unreal. And I don't mean just sugar from cakes and cookies and donuts, although that is true, but literally the food that they feed them, like I could tell you stories. It's unbelievable. It's crazy pants. So, but they can also, insulin resistance is not just affecting your blood sugar levels, but it can also worsen your menopause symptoms. Had this conversation with somebody yesterday, feeling like a freaking hot mess express. Welcome. I can help you. I was the hot mess express poster child because insulin is a hormone and it domino affects all the other hormones. It messes up all your other hormones. So that's why you want insulin resistance to not be, you don't want to be insulin resistant forward. You want to be insulin sensitive forward, if that makes sense. But it can worsen menopause symptoms and trigger anxiety and impact your liver's ability to function properly. Okay, I'm just going to go through this one again. There's so much to unpack, and I know I keep pausing on this one, but OMG, it doesn't just affect your blood sugar levels, people. And I know about all of these. Okay. And then I've talked to people about all of these. And then I've helped people with all of these. I mean, including like blood tests for people. Okay. So hormone imbalances, increased visceral fat, inflammation, neurological issues, worsening menopause symptoms, which triggers anxiety and impacts your liver's ability to function properly. Trio. Liver. Gut reset protocol. Liver. Like, let's help your liver. Oh my gosh. Like, if we could just get some of these basic ideas, man, we would just be winning. So just know that if you're already doing protocol, whether it's the good, the best, or the good, the better, or the best, no matter what, listen, you're winning. You're doing something from the inside out. Keep going. Don't stop. Oh, gets me so fired up. Okay, we have one last one. Let's make sure nobody's talking to me. You will go find me and listen. Oh, very good, Donna. Very good. And reach out to me. Message me on Messenger if you want a cart for the trio. If you want If you have questions, like reach out to me. Now you're part of my world. Stay in my world. Let's do it. Last myth for debunking, an untruth. So think about the things that we think are true and then they are not. And I'll share some of those at the end because that's kind of an interesting thing. Number 8, my doctor didn't say anything about insulin resistance. I must be fine. Standard lab tests like fasting glucose may miss insulin resistance. Markers like you want a fasting insulin, a HOMA-IR, and an A1C are more accurate indicators. Understanding your own numbers gives you the power to take action. Most doctors are not doing a fasting insulin test, and it's a really important test because insulin is a hormone. It's not the sugar in your blood, and the sugar in your blood is not the hormone insulin. Okay, so you want to ask for a fasting insulin test and see if they'll give it to you. Oftentimes, they kind of don't. They'll say no, but you have to kind of push for stuff like that if you want to have a different universe when it comes to that. Okay. Hold on. Okay, I'm going to read these to you. All right, let's do this. All right. These are the untruths. So when we have those untruths about insulin resistance, it's not what you don't know that hurts you all the time. It's what you think you know to be true that is not. And these are some examples just in our real world of things that we think that are true that are actually not. And then you could see how you would wrongly believe certain things about insulin resistance, like those 8 things that we just went through. But let's go through some of the normal world things that we might think are true that are not. Tell me if you have thought these in the past or if currently that's getting fixed for you right now. Because anyway, I'll just tell you this. When I was dating my husband, I thought it was the windshield factor. So we all believe things that we think are true that are not. And he said, "What did you say?" I'm like, "Well, it's the windshield factor." He goes, "What does the windshield have to do with how cold it is?" We've been married 37 years, so I'm not offended anymore. I wasn't, and at the time I was just a little mortified, like, oh, I should probably think that through. Okay. Humans use only 10% of their brains. Myth number 1. That is not true. This myth has been widely debunked by neuroscientists. In reality, nearly every part of the brain has a known function, and brain imaging shows activity coursing through the entire organ, even when we are at rest. So it is not true that humans only use 10% of their brain. Not true. Number 2, bats are blind. Not true. While many species rely heavily on echolocation to navigate and find food, they also have functional eyes and they can see. I'm just saying, we say that all the time, don't we? That's, somebody's blind as a bat. Crazy how doctors decline important tests if they are the ones paying for it. I know. There's a whole insurance conversation to be had. Very frustrating, right? Number 3, goldfish have a 3-second memory. Who has heard that one before? Not true. Studies have shown that goldfish can remember things for months. And hold on, I gotta see this. And they can be trained to perform tasks. Has anybody heard that? I have not heard that. Next one, the Great Wall of China is visible from space. Apparently this is not true, people. The Great Wall is not visible to the naked eye from space, especially not from the moon. It's too narrow and matches the color of the natural terrain. Next one, sugar causes hyperactivity in children. Multiple scientific studies have found no substantial evidence linking sugar to consumption to hyperactivity in children. And my own take on that is that it's not the sugar, it's the food dye or the preservatives that are in that, whatever they just ate that's filled with sugar. But anyway, that's just me. Next one, Vikings wore horned helmets. And trust me, I live in Minnesota. Our football team are the Vikings. So Most Minnesotans probably still think, because that's on our that's on our uniforms and everything, right? The horned helmets, right? Vikings wore horned helmets. There is no historical evidence of that Vikings wore horned helmets. This image was popularized by the 19th century artists and has since become a widespread misconception. Isn't that crazy, you guys? Okay, next one. Cracking knuckles causes arthritis. While it may be annoying to some, there is no scientific evidence that knuckle cracking causes arthritis. However, habitual cracking can lead to other issues like reduced grip strength. I had not heard that piece at all. At all. Hold on, I'm going to check my... Okay, we're good. That's very interesting. Okay. Toilet water swirls in different directions depending on the hemisphere. Have you guys heard this one? Toilet water swirls in different directions depending on the hemisphere. Who's heard that one? It says the Coriolis effect, which is responsible for the rotation of large-scale weather patterns, does not affect small bodies of water like those in toilets. The direction of toilet water swirl is determined by the design of the toilet, not by the hemisphere. I guess you know what? Maybe I heard this one a long time ago. I never gave it any thought, but that's interesting that there could be a design of the toilet that makes that change. Okay. This one, I've got 2 left. Nope, 3. 2. Dropping a penny from the Empire State Building can kill someone. I've never heard that one. Has anybody heard that one? Dropping a penny from the Empire State Building can kill someone. Due to air resistance, a penny would not gain enough velocity to cause significant harm. It would reach terminal velocity and fall at a speed that might sting, but not kill. That's hilarious. I've never heard that one. And then the last one. This one I've never heard. Has anybody heard this one? Sharks don't get cancer. Sharks do get cancer. This myth arose from early observation and has since been disproven by marine biologists and pathologists who have documented various cancer in sharks. Well, I hadn't heard the other way anyway. So then the 8 untruths as a wrap-up review. Number 1, untruth about insulin resistance that you might be believing that you need to shift in order for your health to increase. Number 1, insulin resistance only affects overweight or obese people. Not true. Number 2, if I'm not diabetic, I don't need to worry about insulin resistance. Not true. Number 3, I'll know I'm insulin resistant because I will feel something drastic. Not true. Number 4, as long as I eat less and exercise more, insulin resistance will go away. Nope. Number 5, eating fat causes insulin resistance. Eating fat does not cause insulin resistance. Number 6, you just need to cut out sugar and insulin resistance will be fixed. Number 7, insulin resistance only affects blood sugar levels. Not true. Number 8, and the last one, my doctor didn't say anything about insulin resistance, so I must be fine. So you can see how on a regular basis, we believe things that are not true, but we think that they are. And those are the things that harm us the most. It's not the things that we don't know about. Like if we don't have knowledge on something, that's actually not what's hurting us. It's when we think we know something is true and it's not. I thought that was very fascinating. So who has any questions for today? If not, no problemo. But if you have any questions about any of the supplementation or like the challenge coming up or anything like that, let me know. I really do want people to have a completely different track to run on starting in January. Like this can be a different world for you if you choose it to be. I know there's a lot of noise out there. I'm not confused by that. I know that there is a lot of information out there. I'm not confused by that. And I feel like the reason why I know it so well is because you are in my inbox. And you're telling me that you're kind of a little tired, you're a little weary, you're a little exhausted, just because there's so many people talking about things that you feel like maybe you're spinning. And I know my role, and what I mean by that is, I'm not a doctor. I'm an Italian girl who figured things out, but I'm also not a GNC supplement person. I'm somebody who has journeyed and turned things around with my hormones, with my insulin resistance, which is the same conversation, but we just have it as two different conversations. And I know what it feels like to feel overwhelmed and not know where to start. I know what it feels like to have emotional connections to food and think that that will never change, that you'll never be able to get a handle on that. I know what it feels like to not believe in yourself enough to really take steps. I never believed that I could trade out my foods. I never believed that I could figure any of this out, but I did, one step at a time, one ingredient at a time, one recipe at a time. And now I live on the other side of really enjoying a lot of freedom, because once you can get a handle, you can on what to eat, there's so much freedom in it, because you're not in deprivation land. You're not in restriction land. You're just trading out one set of ingredients for another set of ingredients. You're just changing up your pantry. Like on Facebook, my pantry is right there. And we talk about that. We do a pantry and a fridge reveal every challenge that we do. Because if I can show you what's in my pantry and how I've traded out my ingredients, maybe it'll be a little less overwhelming for you. Maybe you'll be a little more stable in your thought process to believe that you can do it too. I always say to you, get your hopes up. I want you to get your hopes up. I want you to feel filled with hope that supplementation can help you, that trading out your foods can help you. Because if that is true, which it is, but if that is true and your mind believes that, wow, game on. Now you can walk journey. Now you can do this month after month after month and put months together, add them up, and be in a completely different place by the end of 2025. Had to pop off and talk to your sister. We'll have to watch what I missed on replay. Do that, Carol. And you know what? You'll have to. So you're on TikTok. The replay won't be posted on TikTok, but you can go back to Facebook. Okay. Thanks for jumping on TikTok. That was sure fun. So I want you to be able to know that you have a track to run on. So if you need anything from me today, please reach out and ask me. You can either comment on Facebook or on Instagram and TikTok. You do have to get into my inboxes, because I can't, your stuff will go away the second I end my live here in just a few minutes. Your comments will just go away. And so reach out to me and tell me, listen, I was listening to your live and you know what? You talked about the trio. Will you send me a cart so I can look at that, so that I can get started and so that I can make, like strides before the new year even gets here? I mean, did you know that the trio can help with, actually help with food noise? And that's a really big conversation for people, because if you have a lot of food noise, it's hard to go grocery shopping. It's hard to consider another layer of ingredients. It's hard to think about having another recipe in your life, right? So that food noise can feel very overwhelming when you are doing a lot of social events. So if you start now, you might be very surprised at how you navigate a few things during the Christmas season. And you know what? It doesn't have to be perfection. It can be progress. How about we just get some progress going in our life? What would that feel like? That you actually had progress between now and January 1. And instead of being unkind to yourself and instead of beating yourself up, you actually just took a few steps that then gave you hope, so that come January 6th, when we hit the free challenge, you're like, I can do this. I can actually take on January. I actually have a track to run on. That feels really good. I have a protein PDF waiting for me. I have a recipe and pantry ideas waiting for me. I have a group of encouraging women waiting for me. Kirsten said that she would talk to me. She said that she would answer my messages. I actually have somebody that I can connect with as I journey. I mean, that feels really good. And I know that it does. And so, like I said, I know my role. I know that giving you a collective thought process, a more full thought process than to just say, jazz hands, here's some magic pills. We need more than that, right? Because I always tell you, this is easy. Supplementing is easy. Set a reminder on your phone, set an alarm. That's easy. This can be harder. This can be harder. Your heart connected to food. So if you're already in the group, guide 6 is us going through the book, Self-Sabotage No More by Jenny Potter. Take advantage of that. What if you listen to one episode? They're about 30 to 45 minutes each one. What if you listen to one episode a week until we get to the challenge and get yourself mentally prepared for what's coming? And then she does have a book called Stuck No More. And I did send that out to a handful of you at the beginning of December. You know what? Get yourself unstuck. Stop sabotaging. And instead choose to believe a different narrative in your head. What is one food you could leave us with to avoid during the Christmas season? Oh, wow. That is such a good question. One food, only one? You know what? I'm going to be super obvious with this one. Anything that is obviously sugar. But I want you to think about it this way. I don't want you to think about it in terms of, oh, I can't have that and I can't have that and I can't have that. One of the mindset things that I teach a lot on is finding a recipe that excites you. Just one. You only need one. So if you're a sugar person, you could apply this to a salty thought process too, but let's just do sugar because it's the obvious conversation during Christmas. Find one recipe. Last year for me, it was a pumpkin roll. I taught it in the group and I made that pumpkin roll probably 5 or 6 times during the season between Thanksgiving and New Year's. And I made that pumpkin roll and I brought it everywhere that I went. It was sugar-free, it was grain-free, and it tasted phenomenal. Okay. So I chose that recipe and I made it and I brought it everywhere. I had it in my home. I brought it places and I traded out. Okay. You could do that with, in August, we did a lemon blueberry butter cake bar. Really phenomenal. One recipe, just find one recipe that you can make and bring it everywhere or have it in your home so that you don't feel like you're in deprivation land. You don't feel like you're in restriction land. And then the last one would be for me, when I was going through this journey on my own, it was the 7-layer bars. I'm just going to be honest. I was like, kryptonite. 7-layer bar was my kryptonite. So all you have to do is go online and Google keto 7-layer bar or keto magic bar, something like that. Find that recipe, learn what it's like to go buy a bag of Swerve. Learn what it's like to, play with a recipe a little bit. If that's not sweet enough for you, learn how to add a little bit of liquid stevia to boost the sweetness. Do whatever it is that you need to do. The last one that I'll recommend is in the group in June, we did keto granola. Oh, my Lanta. OMG, that is something you could have in your refrigerator that you could crack off a piece and have something. So that you have something sweet. So that would be my recommendation. It's not about just white knuckling it. It's about you actually learning how to fish so that you can take that with you for the rest of the year. I hope that makes sense to people. I really do. Judy, good to see you. You went on a cruise and you lost 2 pounds? Oh my stars. Way to go, Judy. Hold on. I'm going to put that up there. It's people you have to fight off. People think I just don't eat. Not their food anyways. Yes. Okay, tell me, how did you lose 2 pounds, Judy? Everybody's going to want to know. How did you lose 2 pounds on a cruise? Because I bet people have a few booked cruises coming up and they would like to know how to lose 2 pounds on a cruise. Way to go. Yes. And I love what you just said. So it's people that you have to fight off. People think I just don't eat. I just don't eat their food, is what she's saying. I just don't eat their food. Yes, that's exactly right. Don't let people push you. Do not let the food pushers win this holiday season. It's their enjoyment for themselves to watch you eat. That's their problem. It's not your problem. Like, let's not be silly. You walked a lot and you just told the chef what you wanted. Good job. Very good job. Oh, that makes me so excited. It's, when I realized that I didn't have to people please with food, I just basically, I don't make any apologies for how I eat, but I also don't require anybody to do anything different for me. I know how to order. She's just said it. She just told the chef what she wanted. Perfection. You just take responsibility for what you know you want, and you don't let anybody else go, oh my gosh, that's so not sustainable. Oh my gosh, like, how can you do that? Or it's all about balance, honey. Just a little bit. Oh, come on. You have no idea how good this is. Just a little bit, just a little bit. No, that's for their pleasure. That's not for your pleasure. Do you understand that? That's because they feel better. Maybe that's their love language. Maybe feeding you is their love language. They're just speaking their love language. You can just say, you know what? I am so full right now. No, thank you. I'll let you know. Or you can just flat out say, you know what? I'm not doing sugar. So no, thank you. And just be firm. Like, you can do it. You can do it. I will give you all the empowerment on that, because I'll tell you, you are so welcome. Thank you for the follow. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Margie. You're amazing. It took me a long time, you guys, to shut down the food pushers and to decide that food bullies was not going to be my universe. No. I'm going to be on my journey because it's for my health, because my desire is to be on the floor with my grandbabies. That's not inside of you. You can't see what I'm feeling inside of me. So I have to be true to myself. I want that more than I want to please you about eating your food, or about eating what you think I should be eating at any given point, social event, holiday. It's Christmas. We always fill in the blank. It's the week before Christmas. We always get together and do that cookie exchange and eat and eat and eat. We always drink eggnog. We always buy this candy. We always make this. It doesn't mean you don't participate. It just means that maybe you have something separate. So if you're making a lot of, like the keto granola would fill in for a lot of things, because if you are the type of person that, like, you're going to make these little coconut balls and you're going to do all these things, you can have unsweetened coconut inside of a coconut granola, and with lots of, sweeteners and Lily's chocolate chips and blah, 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 all the good things, yada, 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 yum, yum, yum. And you can have your own little stash. And don't you be ashamed of that. You're taking back your own health for your own reasons, for your own future. And 5 years from now, that person that is you, that is in the future, turns back and looks at you right now and says, oh, thank you so much that you did Christmas differently in 2024. Thank you so much that you gave it a shot. Because now look at where we are. Like, we're off meds. We lost 3 sizes. We feel so much better. We function at a completely different level. We avoided those meds. We stopped the side effects. We turned back the fatty liver. The lab test looks so much better. Other people's opinions are none of your business. They're just not. Kathleen says she's had to do that work. They bring pizza and donuts. Now they know to order you the cauliflower pizza. I love that, Kathleen. I love that. And to be really honest, a lot of people are very understanding and they are very accommodating. It's just that sometimes I know we can be entrenched in a stronger culture of food pushers. So for those people, I want to always be able to offer you permission to advocate for yourself and to just pretend that, and just to know that their opinions of you and what you're doing, it's none of your business. I had to do a puzzle thing on TikTok. They have to make sure that you're a human. Because otherwise people, I suppose, just go live and they walk away. I don't even know. Donna, you feel hopeful. Oh, I'm so glad. That's the beginning of it all. That is the beginning of it all, is to have hope. Get your hopes up. Get your hopes up. Very good. So the group is called Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. The track to run on is grab at least the trio. The trio is good. That is a very, very good. This is where I started. This is good, good, good. Good place to start to go from insulin resistant to insulin sensitive. If you know that you need help with your gut, you might want to add in the gut reset protocol. This is a primer and a probiotic, because insulin resistance leads to leaky gut. So if you have constipation, indigestion, if you have inflammation in your gut, if you know that you are leaking nutrients, all of those things, you know, you need to up your liver health, your oral health, your metabolic health. Like, you might want both of these. And that's what I call the better cart. And then the best cart is when I do those two. And then I add the thermogenic. It's awesome. Claudette says, I know. Claudette, I think, and I don't want to misspeak. I was talking about this with my husband last night or the night before. I think Claudette was on the primer for 3 days. And she texted me and said, I've been doing this for 3 days. It fixed my constipation. I just ordered another one. And you said, I will not be without this. And when they evacuated in Florida, one of the things she made sure she had when she evacuated to Miami was the gut primer and the probiotic, which I think is such a great story. Think about how impacting that is for you, because nobody should be walking around constipated. And if you have indigestion, it's a symptom of something's wrong. It's not normal. You're not supposed to have indigestion. You're not supposed to be constipated. I don't care if everybody else around you is or has. That's not normal. That is not a functioning system. You're not supposed to be depressed. You're not supposed to have anxiety. You're not supposed to be losing sleep. That's not normal. You're not supposed to be gaining belly fat day after day after day. You're not supposed to have upside down hormones. It doesn't mean we don't. Of course we do. We're kind of a messed up society. A lot of it has to do with our food and our nutritional deficiencies. Simple things can fix. But anyways, the thermogenic is amazing. Amazing. Like I said, I just sent my girlfriend 3 boxes. I'm like, you got to take 1 stick a day. Call me in 90 days. That's what I told her. Bethany, she says, hi, honey. I love my gut primer. I have no more bloat 3 weeks in. And your sleep is amazing. Okay, this is such a big testimony, you guys, because she has a very specific gut condition, and so she didn't know, and it's helping. Look at that gut primer. She loves the gut primer. No more bloat 3 weeks in. 3 weeks in, the bloating is gone, and her sleep is amazing. That makes me so happy. How many of us are going to go through the holidays now, and we're literally just going to feel like trash? We're going to wake up every morning, and we're going to be bloated like we're pregnant, and feel like trash just because of the way that we're eating, because we're off routine. We're off, disciplines. We're off plan. We're off whatever. And instead of dealing with the bloat, like Bethany's talking about, we just beat ourselves up in our head. We're just constantly unkind to ourselves. Like, what did you do that for? Oh, God, you just have no discipline. What is wrong with you? You've never been able to stick to anything anyway. Why do you think you're going to stick to it now? Blah, blah, blah. And the person that's the meanest to us is ourself. And we have to stop it. Just take a step. Take a step. And then stop being mean to yourself. It matters. So, all right. That was amazing, Bethany. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you. I really do. And the gut primer, just as a little side note, and then I'm going to jump off, you guys. It looks like a greens product. It does have fermented greens in it. You can see mine is almost all done, but it's not a greens product. It is a primer. It has 6 different blends in it, and it's completely recalibrating your gut. Okay. But what I want to say about that is I don't like tea, and this tastes like tea. Okay. Now, some people like the flavor of it. That's great. I don't hate it. I just don't love it because it tastes like tea. So I just want to tell you what I do with it. So when you order it, you don't think, what the heck am I going to do? I take cold water. I already put my cup away this morning. About this much cold water right out of my fridge in a glass. And I put 1 scoop in, and I use my frother, this thing. Okay, I use my frother, and I mix that up, and I down it like a shot. And then you can taste the aftertaste of a little bit of ginger, a little bit of turmeric. Like you can taste those alkaline spices that are in there. And then it has all of those fermented greens. You know, we're supposed to be eating a lot more fermented greens anyway, in general, fermented foods. We actually, in America, because of our diet, we've killed off bacteria species in our gut. Species that you were in our gut like in the 60s, they're no longer there. So somebody else in Tanzania, this is an actual study that I saw on the airplane on my way to Orlando recently. They were talking about how in Tanzania, and then there was another culture in South America, and their gut microbiome was, let's pretend it was this much, that they had this many species in their, I have to make sure everybody can see, this many species in their gut. In America, we have this many species in our gut. We have declined. We've literally killed them off. So we don't have as much to work with. And so it's extremely important that we just recognize kind of what's going on and why we have so many gut issues and digestive issues and inability to break down things, etc. Well, that's why that works. And then taking a probiotic on top of that, the reason why they don't have the probiotic in there is because probiotics need to stay alive. So when you grab this, you can heat this like a tea. You can heat it up because you're not going to kill anything because it has prebiotic and postbiotic. So if you want to heat it, go ahead. But then take your probiotics separately. And so there are 2 probiotics to choose from. One is a powdered that has 5 strains and a pre. And I take this one every day and I put it on my tongue. The second probiotic is a stress probiotic, and it's a pill. That literally will help if you have anxiety, if you are feeling like mental fog, take that one because it'll bring calm. Has very special ingredients to just, if you know your adrenals are shot, you know your cortisol is high, you know you're not getting the sleep you need at night, so therefore your cortisol and your insulin resistance is up the next day, etc., etc. Choose that one. Okay. Because I know how awesome it is. She says, okay, you add 5 ounces of water and you down the gut primer. Very good. Because I know how awesome it is. You don't have to like everything. Who told you you have to like everything that's good for you? Listen, I have friends that tell me it's like Christmas in a cup. They love the taste. They love it. Even my son, he was like, so mom, how are you? This is literally the other day, a couple of days ago. He goes, Mom, how are you taking your gut primer? I told him, and I said, because I don't like the taste of tea. And he goes, oh, okay. So he takes it and he texts me back and he goes, well, that wasn't so bad. I'm like, well, good for you. But I do. I have people that are like, seriously, they love that. They can taste the cinnamon in it. They can taste the turmeric, the ginger. They love that taste. They think it's wonderful. So you don't have to take my opinion of it. But then I do want people to know that if you don't like tea and you drink it and you go, oh, that's not my jam, that's okay. Like just down it like a shot, you're good. People are doing ginger shots at coffee shops all the time. No big deal. Using the frother is a game changer, Linda says. It then tastes like fancy alfalfa. You are hysterical. Am I going to see you in person, Linda, on the 18th? I'm so excited if that's true. Oh my gosh, you're hysterical. Fancy alfalfa. Okay, well, side note. So my husband was raised on a farm and they chewed on alfalfa all the time. So my adaptogenic herb that I take all the time. Do I have one in here? I don't know if I do. Yes. Oh man, am I out? I literally took my last one this morning, so I don't have it to show you. It kind of looks similar to this one. It kind of looks similar to this, but that's not it. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's an adaptogenic herb. And normally, I mean, an average normal person would never chew it because it tastes like alfalfa. But my husband loves to chew it. It's a mood brightener and a mind brightener. So it gives you like mental clarity and, wakes you up, all that good stuff. And then does a million other things too. But he takes it for that. But he'll chew them. He'll take 2 and he'll chew them because he likes the taste of alfalfa. So you are so funny. Farm girl here, I know what alfalfa tastes like. We chewed it. Yes. Ah! That's hysterical. Terry says, fancy alfalfa. Yes, see you on the 18th. Yay. I will make sure I get you all the information, Linda, and I'll have a swag bag waiting for you. So if anybody's in Minnesota, you can come and we have a 1-hour longevity clinic that we're doing in, if you don't know, it's in Bloomington, which is a suburb of Minneapolis. And I would love to see you in person, and I'll have a swag bag for you. But this is the expert that I saw in June for about 45 minutes who will explain everything I talk about to another level. And I love this kind of information because it's very empowering. It's all about you getting the information that you need so that you can shift the way your next year looks for you. Like the knowledge is not power. Applied knowledge is power. Right? So being able to take an hour's worth of information, and there will be a product expo there too, just so that you can touch and see and feel things. But if you need a Zoom link for it, for somebody who is not here in Minnesota, you can get on my VIP list, but you have to reach out to me and let me know that you want to be on my VIP list, because like messages or comments will go away. They'll disappear. I won't see them. All that good stuff. Bye, Judy. Have a great day. Any updates on the magnesium? Is it getting closer to being available to us? Claudette. I don't have information, but I think I will on the 18th. He's going to bring it and talk about it. And I'm going to assume he's going to give us a launch date on it. I really do want to know that too. Magnesium is a very big piece of your puzzle. And if you don't know that yet, you're going to need to know that. I take a magnesium glycinate blend. It's not from my line. It's the only thing I take that's not from my line. And they're launching one. And I'm so excited because it's a big, big deal. So anyway, woohoo, Carol says. So anyway, all right. That's enough chatting for today, you guys. You guys are amazing. I'll see you back here at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time tomorrow. Have such a blessed day. And if you need anything, reach out. I'd be more than happy to chat. I'm going to go... when I get off here, I always go and check my messages and check comments where I can on Facebook and YouTube and etc., so that I can make sure that I'm catching up with you guys as much as I can. Sometimes I get a little bit behind, but we always figure it out. Have a wonderful day, Carol. You guys are amazing. See you later, alligator.